couple of questions that were asked last week. We're going to answer those. And in doing this, I thought about oftentimes that I do ask questions. Ask me if you have any questions to let me know. Oftentimes I do this. Because when I go through and do my research, and it does enlighten me on a lot of things. And one of the questions is this that Mark presented to me. And his question was, are we in the fourth kingdom or the fifth kingdom? Fifth kingdom being the final kingdom. And after I went and did my research, I'm finding out now that I can't stay in one place when I do research. I have to go here and I have to go there. And when I find out what this particular author said, then I come back and I have to go another direction, go another area. Now, this is what I found out before I even settled on that particular answer. I still did some more. And what I did come up with is that the first thing, remember, Daniel is interpreting a dream. That's the key factor. Daniel is interpreting a dream of the end time. Now, we must understand, we get more to this in the book of Revelation. What we must understand is this. The rapture would have taken place before any of the interpretations of Daniel's dream take place. So we will be gone. That will be the beginning of what? Of the tribulation period. According to 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 17. 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 17. The rapture, which is the transformation and catching up of all believers through repentance, dead and living to meet Christ in the air. That is the rapture. That is the rapture. After the rapture, like I said, Revelation is going to play a whole different picture. After the rapture, the seven seals will begin. How many have heard of that? The seven seals, seven trumpets, and the seven bowls. None of that will take place while we, believers that are saved, while we are here. Like I said, we're going to be gone before the manifestation of Daniel's dream, bottom line, before Daniel, anything. We're going to be gone. After the rapture, then there will be the seven seals, which is the wrath of God. How many have heard the phrase, the day of the Lord? The day of the Lord, that is it, which is God's wrath against the ungodly. And that will last, what? 7 years. Two significant events will take place in heaven after the rapture of the saints. One, the judgment seat of Christ. We're going to get a little bit on that. And then another event that will take place is the marriage supper of the Lamb. These two events will precede our return. Now, I've mentioned it and I've said it before, but this verified that according theologians and my research that I have done, we're going to return with Christ after we have been caught up with him in the air. We have reached all the mortality and mortality change. Then, right before he comes back, now see, it is the fourth kingdom and the last kingdom. Now remember, the last kingdom is when God is going to come and set up his kingdom. Fourth kingdom is when all the antichrist, The gods will come, the false gods and false witnesses, they come in and set up their kingdom, which is going to run 3.5 years. So, right before he comes back to set up his kingdom, in essence, what I'm finding out that we're going to be the one that assist him in doing this. After Jesus descends from heaven with a shout and come up to meet him, we will receive a new resurrected body. You knew that. And if we have been faithful, we're going to read our just rewards. Now, the second coming of Christ. After a period of 7 years of tribulation on earth, Christ will return with this church, the saints who are raptured. Matthew 24:30. Let's see what that says. Before I need to go to other references, I'm just going to do Matthew 24:30. Matthew 24:30 says, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." You know, that's going to be a sign. That's going to be something to see. That's going to be something to see. What I'm really actually talking about now is when all this is the battle of Armageddon. That's going to be something to encounter. Yeah, that's going to be something to encounter and to witness. Well, all of these antichrists, all of the false witnesses are going to try to come up against God. And the thing about it, as I stated before, for a while, if I'm not mistaken, for a period of another 3.5 years, for a while, God is going to turn Satan loose again. And he's going to have his last opportunity. Now, understand now what Matthew says when he says that this time it's going to be worse like any before. And again, I am so glad that I won't witness this. I won't be there. I don't want during the tribulation period. He will be victorious over all his enemies and will return and reign on earth for 1,000 years. That's the millennium with the church. We're still in Matthew. Let's read verses 6 through 7 of Matthew 24. 6 through 7, Matthew 6. Verse 6 says,
And ye shall hear
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
7 and 8.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginnings of sorrow.
Now, in verse 7, well, let me expound it on verse 6 first. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. In other words, what they're telling us is we are to expect. You know what? None of this should be a surprise to us. Mm-hmm. None of this, what's happening, should be a surprise. He said, we are to expect this, and we are to still expect worse. Remember, Matthew said this is just the beginning. Now, look, take a look now. If you know the word pestilence, it has an S on it. Pestilence. So that means, y'all don't want to hear me say this, do you? So that means that something worse than corona is coming up.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my Lord. Is he going to catch us off guard like this now? Now, Tina said something to me earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday, and it really kind of set me to thinking. At first, they were just kind of curtailing things. But what caught her attention is when she told me, it caught mine too, when they shut down schools indefinitely. I said, okay, now what's going on? Like her, I think she was thinking, and I thought it too. I said, are they not telling us something? Are they not telling us something for them to shut down schools indefinitely? This is praying time. And you know what? It is, again, it's not the time. We shouldn't panic. We shouldn't be afraid. Life should go on as usual, except with what? Called from the city ordinances with what? Certain restrictions. There must be more judgment and woes. But we are still what? Not to fear. Now the statement, the key thing is this, Jeremiah, Daniel is interpreting. He is predicting what is going to happen. As I said last week, the first 6 chapters of Daniel is history. 7 to 12 is prophetic. And now it's more clear that at one point in time, in Daniel's beginning at chapter 7. Daniel didn't even have a clue. He didn't understand what was going on. Mm-hmm. That was the reason for his prayer. Explain to me what you are showing to me. And I think at one point in time, when I read it, when I began to go through it, that when Daniel, as God began to explain to Daniel the meaning of the dreams, at one point in time, he really became heavy and burdened with what was going on. I said, my God. And then I can imagine him saying in himself, is this really going to happen, God? And the answer to that is yes. So again, if you have any questions, I'm thinking, even the way that I was explaining things previously in Bible study, that we are going to be here. But now I have a more clarity understanding that none of this is going to take place until what? After the rapture. And it makes more sense to me than even now. I'm sacrificing, I'm holding firm, I'm standing firm, and you mean to tell me that I won't be healed for a little this here? God, I know. This is me. God, I think at the time that I had going through it. It's something, and I will say, in some of these things, I made it just by the hair of my chin. So you're telling me that I'm going to encounter this? That's even 1 month up. I don't even want to encounter 1 day of the tribulation period. I just want to sit at his feet. I want to be Mary. Mary sit at his feet and be blessed. I should have brought this one out first. Before we go any further with the kingdoms, maybe he'll get the answer or I'll tell him personally. Concerning Jews and Hebrews. And this is what I found. And most of them are saying the same thing. There is no difference between the terms Hebrew and Jew. There is no difference. This author said, he just kind of smart with it, I think, to me. Same people, different elders. A Hebrew refers to Abraham and his descendants. The term Hebrews, Jews, and Israelites all refer to the same people. And when I come across that, I began to just, of course, pique my curiosity. So I began to go to the Old Testament and some of the basic scriptures that I thought that I would find it. And the word Jew is very seldom mentioned. It doesn't come into play, really. I think it mentioned once in the book of Esther, and I think a couple of other places, but most of it speaking of is brought up in the New Testament. He said modern Jews are named after and also descended from the southern Israelite kingdom of Judah. Again, he repeated himself. A Hebrew refers to Abraham and his descendants. So, how did the children of Israel get their name?
Was it Jacob?
From Jacob.
Jacob changed his name from Jacob to Israel.
So can you read that part back, because you may get into it about the lampstand. They represent the seven. What was it?
Jews are named after and also descendants from the southern Israelite kingdom of Judah. Now, y'all do know that the nation of Israel was split up into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom.
2 and 10. Was it 2 and 10?
2 and 10. What tribe was it? What kingdom was it to?
Benjamin and Judah.
Benjamin and Judah, and the others in the if I'm not mistaken, that's what I remember. Benjamin and Judah, and the other tribes make up the southern kingdom. Well, I just told you that. Another name used for the people of Israel, Israelites, which refers to the fact that the people are descendants of Jacob, who is also called Israel. Now, this is the key coming out. The word Judah is derived from the name Judah, which was the name of one of Jacob's 12 sons. Judah was the ancestor of one of the tribes of Israel, which was named after him. So it's historically speaking that Hebrews, Jews, Israelites, they are what? All the same. So, and it makes sense even more because he said, it's been stated that the Jews was God's original chosen people. And if you run that back, who was the first people? The Israelites. And they were Hebrews. I'm sorry?
He said they were what?
Hebrews.
Hebrews. I said they were heathens. I said they were.
Now let's talk just a little bit on the fourth kingdom. Now we established that the fourth kingdom and the last kingdom. The fourth kingdom or the fourth beast. The fourth kingdom or the fourth beast. This kingdom will be different from all other kingdoms. Now it is in the fourth kingdom that the other 10 nations are established. The 10 toes of the statute, those are 10 nations. I gave those out last week. I have it with me. Those are 10 nations. As I stated, in the fourth kingdom is when the Antichrist will really rise to power. Keep that in mind. Rise to power. Why do I say it like that? Because I may be the long ranger, but I truly believe that the Antichrist is in existence today. He's just having what? It come to life. And guess what? He's not going to come to life. He's not going to come to life. And it's amazing, he's working, if he's in existence, that lets me believe that he's working behind the scenes. You know, In order to be successful, this was just coming to mind about him when I made that statement. In order to be successful, you gotta have your plan, you gotta have everything. Especially if you're thinking about taking over and rising to power. So he's strategizing. He can everything in place. But how long he's been doing this? He's been doing it for a while. Because when he comes into play, according to Daniel, but it's going to work. Because the Bible says he's going to deceive the very elect. The elect is going to have to. Whoa, you know what the Bible said? See, in other words, if you're just barely making it and you're saved and you still just wild with it, you're going to be one of those that's going to be deceived. Paul even states it. And this is evident now. Good words and fair speeches, deceiving the hearts of the simple. I've never seen the like of so many doctrines coming in, so many beliefs. A lot of times, I don't even read about it. I don't even want to hear about it. Just enough to say what is going on. Because I take everything that I hear, I literally do things. I take everything that I hear and compare it to the Bible and try to see where they get it from. And what I have come across, and this is what's happening, and what I have found in taking everything that people say and researching and to verify, they are giving what? Half-truths. Yes, ma'am.
You know, I heard you saying about half truths, but to a certain degree, they're getting full truths because there's a Bible. I know there's a verse lady in my job. She has an alternative lifestyle. And when she was telling me, she said, well, we're going to be sisters in Christ, so I want you to know that I'm gay or whatever. And I'm like, well, not sisters in Christ, ma'am. And so I was just sharing, I was talking to her. She's like, no. She said, I know, I already know the scriptures. And whenever I was sharing with her, she said, because in my Bible, and she was like quoting scriptures, like when they were talking about homosexuality, they were talking about if you were selling your body. So I'm not selling my body. I'm just seeking love from another woman. So, but it was in her Bible. So in her mind, that's her whole truth. So it was something. It was beginning with an E. But I was like, and it just blew me away. Like, OMG. So like whatever, if you're living in sin, and that's why this goes to deceiving the hearts of the simple. Because if they have a Bible, and I'm reading this version of a Bible, and it suits me, to them it's the whole truth. And it was just like what I was saying was archaic. Oh, I already know. But in my Bible it says. And in her Bible, it was Jesus had words and read, ... But that was her truth.
But that goes back to the point. What proves the point? Well, what? Fair words
and
good speeches. They're deceiving the heart. What? Of the simple. So it behooves you and I, what? To understand the truth. Because, as it was stated, people can make their lie sound like
the truth.
They convince you. Now, even on that note. Now, I know people. Now, they are taking what the Bible says about homosexuality and saying what? It says nothing wrong with it. And I'm asking them, okay now, what is it that they don't understand? Number one, when the scripture said, thou shalt not lie with mankind.
Jesus didn't say it. That was her response. Jesus never spoke on it. That was another man giving his interpretation of it.
Okay, let's take it what that young lady said. Let's use that, church. Let's use that. Now, if you take note now, watch this. See, this is why it still gives prudence to fair words and good speeches. They didn't think or would come to say that what? None of the Old Testament is written in rain.
Amen.
Right. See, you can't, we have to know. I would have said, yeah, you're sure right. But if you go back to that Bible and they go copy and take the original, you'll find that what? none of the Old Testament is written in the Word.
But also, Bishop, how can you pick and choose? Because the Bible, it says in the beginning. So are you going to be able to discount that because it's not written in red?
That's what I'm talking about. Bible did say, all right, that's where I'm going. In the beginning, what? In the Word what? In the... Okay, let's take what Timothy said. Paul told Timothy. Portion of that is in black. When it says what? All scriptures. Given by the what? One thing I come to understand, well, let me say this, about the King James Version. It don't leave me confused. It don't leave me double-minded because it comes out and says, now I grant you these other interpretations, yes, they're going to accept anything. Now, let's take the Message Bible. How many of you remember John Black? That last time he was here, he said, I'm going to read the King James Version on this one because the New Version changes the translation on it. He said it left out a word. And then by leaving out a word, it changed the whole meaning of that context. Y'all know me. And of course, I went and checked it out. You gotta check me out sometime. Thank you. Well, let me just say what all the time. Thank you, dude. I went and got the same scripture tomorrow. Got the King James, got the Message, or in a new translation. Both of them left one word out, King James, and it did change the whole meaning of that scripture. So again, that leads me to believe and convince them what? That people take what they want to believe. You know what? Not so much. Add to it, yes, what they want to believe, but they take what suits them. They take what suits them, what satisfies them. That makes them feel good. Because even if you go to the Old Testament, I go to the Old Testament. Those angels that came, I think that was Lot. That one of the men that went into Lot's house. And they said, we want the men. And Lot said, come here, let me give you my dog. Nobody has touched it. Let me give you my dog. He said, no. Busted the door, I said, I'm using my for you. There's bulldozers that said, we want the men. Now, one thing I want to bring about. Matthew mentioned the word pestilence. And that was the reason why. If you research it and find out that God sent, proves it, Exodus. That was the very reason why. Leave that out. Exodus. That reason in Exodus a little bit different than Egypt. But what I really want was Numbers, the 14th chapter, when God was getting ready to send a pestilence. Somebody find that, make sure I'm right. That God was getting ready to send a plague and destroy his people because of their constant disobedience and their doubt. And Moses and Aaron stood between Israel and the people and said, God, don't do it, because if you do it, they're going to say, you brought them out, what?
Just to kill them.
Just to destroy. That you weren't able, what it said?
Start the 14th chapter, starting with.
Read a little bit of it.
And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in the wilderness? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's in the same chapter. You got the right chapter. Let's come on down. And the Lord said unto, verse 11, the same chapter, 14th chapter of Numbers. 14th chapter of Numbers. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have showed among them. I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make all thee, and will make of thee a greater nation, mighty than they. I forgot about this instance. Again, God's getting ready to wipe out his own people and start all over again. Yeah, he wanted what? He wanted a, put that baby, that's the third time. He wanted to wipe out his own people just to get a righteous people. Whoa. So he said, I'm going to send a pestilence, but Aaron, Moses, and Aaron still believe God, don't do it. If you do that, they'll know you was not, simply put, you were not a man of your word. So let's look at the pestilence that's going on today. Part of God's plan, yes. Would you include ungodly ways? Yes. As I stated, one way or the other, God is going to let this world know, hey, I am God and I stand for righteousness. Wait a minute, another thought God just speak in my mind. Well, I love the way this man is. You know what he just told me to say now? When the situation interpreted, what are my people going to do? Then he said, this is me talking about. I can imagine God saying, I'm doing it, but really I'm doing it for my people to get their attention. Because sometimes God still don't have the attention of what? His people. How so? Look how the saints of God has taken God's life. Doing what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, coming to church. Anytime I say something against, well, you can't do this, that, you can't do that, but you want to get upset at me because I won't let you participate now. I've been done that way. I did something and they came to me and said, well, how can you, why are you doing this here? How can you come out of a club or come from a world of party and then come to church and still do your I call that what? No respect. So what? God is getting tired of all of that. He's telling people, I am a righteous God. I am a holy God. Sanctified, holy, sanctified, holy. So holy simply means what? Separated. I know I'm giving a little bit off the truck, but I'm trying to deal with the end time plans. This is good to me. Watch this. You gotta remember the story that I told, but throughout the Old Testament, especially Deuteronomy is one of them. When God told his people, and this is what's amazing to me, y'all. This is what amazing to me. This is what amazing. Sure, he put them smack in the middle of one of them pipes. Oh, y'all know where I'm going. It said what? I still don't want you to what? Mingle with me. Oh, come on, wait a minute now, God. Wait a minute now, God. Wait a minute now, God. Social police. Now I'm going to put you right smack in the middle of them. And then you're going to come in and say, don't intermingle. Wow. Come on back. Want you to have no part. Now, you like I'm saying today, or have said behind that. I truly don't believe, well, I don't believe, because Paul explained it. He's not saying we can't talk to him. Can I communicate with him? I'm 65, don't know a whole lot. So, you younger generation, explain to me, how can a sinner and a saint born together be close? When y'all get time, explain to me. How, I'm open minded. How can you walk together? How can y'all be running partners? Somebody that unsaved person have changed their ways, but you're still going everywhere with them. God want Peter, for ye a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a peculiar people. Peculiar means odd, strange. So God is really that's one that's one thing that I'm concluding. That God has been trying of all this. He's been trying. And then I've read even concerning this. Well, I'm hoping that it will be, because what God had given me for Sunday. I guess I'll give y'all a see some tidbit of it. When God allowed the children of Israel to go to Egypt and fight, and he told Moses, right before the death penalty, he told Moses how to instruct the people. He said, go and get a sacrificial lamb, the firstborn sacrificial lamb. And this is really, this phases me, Jack. This really goes beyond every time I talk about this. How can an animal be pure? But some kind of way it had to be in order for it to accept it. Wow, wait a minute. Now, if God wants purity from an animal, but then he go on and say, animal, Exodus 12 and 12, well, 13, verse where I was taking my text. When God said, when I see the blood, when I see the blood. And Sister Crown, I thought about that when God gave it. I said, if God comes to you, will he see the blood? Wait a minute, wait a minute. And it said nothing about you being saved. Ain't said nothing about being filled. Ain't said nothing about your salvation. But will he see the blood? That's something to think about. And those that are covered with the blood, he said he's going to bypass. And I begin to read, and you know, and I say to son, but I begin to read, and this line stood out. He says, not even the dog of the Israelites was harmed. After the death plague, not even the dog. So that should give us much hope. During the death plague, if a dog wasn't killed, but even Matthew said, according to some, are we better than the birds of the air? This is what I'm trying to, I hope I got the point over Sunday there. You and I, we shouldn't be afraid. Mother Daniel?
I was just thinking, does he see the blood? None of us will be sitting here if we didn't see the blood.
Yeah.
Because it's by the blood that we are who we are. And he's still the same.
He's still the same
He's
God.
still the same. Oh, yes, for sure. I feel confident that he sees the blood.
And that's what we got. That's what we have to be comfortable with.
That he sees the blood. Because it's about him that put the blood there when you didn't ask for it.
Now, let me add this to that. And I agree with that 100%, Mother Dan. But any time during our lifetime. When we err, that erases the blood.
But you don't stay erased.
Exactly. Exactly. We don't have to stay erased.
Don't err to his ways and his commandments.
Yes.
Right back to that repentant state. And
Yes.
forgiveness.
Yes.
And there comes the blood.
But that point that I was trying to make, that anytime we err, anytime we go, miss one down, come on now.
Fall in love with repentance.
Sometimes we might not make that repentance.
That's right.
So I would guarantee.
That's right.
Come on now. Why? And I'm just saying this is why is it that some people want to wait on a deathbed confession? It might, me personally, I don't believe in deathbed confession. Why? Because why are you repenting? Me, I'm saying me, y'all. Me, you're not sorry for what you've done.
I can't
Me,
do it no more, so I might as well.
so I don't believe in deathbed confession.
What about the man on the cross?
He was sorrowful.
He was sorry. Well, don't you think that repentance could demand some thought, some repentance, a heart?
But also, didn't
Not all the time,
But didn't he also acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
that it was Jesus on the cross, the Son of God on the
He
cross?
criticized that other one.
And sometimes people do stuff out of fear.
Thank you.
Oh, I've heard about this heaven and hell, so love again and don't die.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah,
Just in case it's real. Love again.
Now, what I'm trying to say, even with my state, God is looking for a heartfelt repentance. And a deathbed repentance. I say to me, why would you wait till that last minute? So that tells me you knew about it. You knew about salvation.
But you rejected him all the time.
And now, that's why I said, what did I say? That's why I said me. And anytime we go against God's command and His word, we just lost the blood. Until we, of course, come back. Did I confuse anybody? But let's go with this. Encourage somebody else. Especially saints. It's not the time to be afraid. No. Because we knew this was going to happen. It just kind of caught us off guard, and it should not have. It caught us off guard.
I wouldn't say it caught me off guard, but just thinking like I'm 42. In my 42 years, like how you hear something for so long and you finally start seeing it happen, like Lord have mercy, it really is. It's like it's coming to pass, like Lord. It's surprising. I ain't shook by it, but it's like here we go.
And see, when it finally set in, and as I began to go through the word, I said, boy, the word is really manifested. A lot of times we hear the scripture, not only Matthew, but when Timothy said, in the last days, perilous times shall come. I think we don't even, we quote it, but we don't think about it. And now, here it is. I listened to that clip. I don't know how many of it. God has some Daniels today. I was listening to this man, I think his name is Perry Strong, as he began to give his prophecy what God gave him 15 years ago, I think he said. And at the time, he even showed them concerning the towers. And look, he did him like he did Daniel. He gave him scenarios. He didn't give him the exact thing that was going to happen. He gave him scenarios. So people today, in reality, for the most part, I would say, in a big 90%, the world don't have an excuse. The world don't have an excuse. It never comes. Yes, sir.
Just to add on top of that, there was an earthquake in Salt Lake City today.
What did Matthew say? Earthquake in diverse
The
places.
worst one since 1992.
I mean, they already been having the same one in other parts of the world, but
This is, I guess what I'm saying is amazing to me, and it should, again, it should be that God's word is really the candy and evidence. I can hear God say, y'all didn't believe. I said, I'm real. I said, wait a minute. I used to say sometimes, like the man God said, I was playing with y'all. Y'all might have thought I was playing with y'all, careless, but I wasn't playing with y'all. I don't pull a leg. When I say something is gonna happen,
My mom said today 80 years, and I've never seen nothing like this.
watch out.
Mm-hmm.
That's Matthew. Matthew said like never before. And I thought again to go through that, the key thing that stood out for me was that word pestilent, and it had an S on it. So that lets me know that, hey, it's more than one. Some messages might come.
well, we've been having them.
They've been happening
Yeah, we've been quite a few. H1N1.
every couple of years. You know. Yeah.
Zika, Ebola.
Swine, bird.
Foot and mouth.
Just the beginning.
They had the swine flu, they right in the mouth.
Foot and mouth.
Amen. Keep over around. What we supposed to. You know,